So I'll share a study with you that they did with ChatGPT. They were looking at cognitive debt when using AI for writing tasks. So they took 54 people and they put them in 3 groups. The age range was from 18 years old to 40 years old. It was a 4-month-long study. The first group was the writing group. They had to actually write papers. The second group could write papers using search engines, and the third group wrote papers using ChatGPT. As I understand it, they were trying to see the effects on cognition when you stop flexing your writing muscle. So they were all given the same writing assignments. And for the first 3 months, they stayed in their group. But on the last month, the group that was writing all on their own switched with the ChatGPT writing group. Now, as you can imagine, group 3, the one that used ChatGPT to write, the group that didn't really write papers, they just prompted ChatGPT, had slower brain activity, they had weaker recall and less ownership over their writing, which is kind of weird to call it writing anyways. Obviously, if I just plug a few prompts in and produce a paper, I'm not going to know the things that are quoted and said in there, maybe unless I read it and reread it several times. The third group that used ChatGPT underperformed the other groups in neural, linguistic, and behavioral measures. What I found interesting was the group that actually wrote their papers, when they were given the chance to use ChatGPT on the 4th assignment, they actually used it more like a search engine. Because they had been writing the whole time, their writing skills went up. Whereas the ChatGPT group didn't even stay at the same level, they actually went down from before they even started the experiment. I know the brain isn't a muscle, so to say that it atrophied is probably scientifically incorrect. I think a neuroscience would talk about strengthening neural connections and pruning certain parts of the brain. It's very much a use it or lose it kind of situation, which is one of the reasons why Duolingo wants you on it every day. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, okay, I don't think it's a good idea to use ChatGPT to write papers, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. If you just need to get something out quickly, doesn't that buy you a lot more time to do other things? I see your point, but one of the things that bothers me is that people are starting to use AI to write things that are really meant to come from you. I mentioned this in a previous podcast about AI suggested text on dating apps. So there might be somebody that you're interested in, and then AI suggests a prompt, and then you send that one, and then they receive it, and then their AI suggests a response. So what's going on here? Doesn't that freak anybody else out? Doesn't that feel weird? I think we're so afraid of being uncomfortable or saying the wrong thing that we're kind of giving up the thing that makes us human. I'm actually really grateful for my Mormon upbringing because Mormons have to think on their feet a lot. Now, it's pretty much only the full-time missionaries that knock on doors and talk to strangers. There are other groups like Jehovah's Witnesses that do that throughout their lives. But having that experience as a young person of just being put on the spot and having to think on my feet really helped me and honestly made the transition to the unlikely career of stand-up comedian quite easy because I'm used to being put on the spot. With the ubiquity of these technologies, we're just kind of becoming these lily-livered cowards. Yellow-bellied, no good, bunch of pansies. Do I sound like a really grumpy old man? I legitimately feel this way. What kind of humans are we creating right now?